All right. Good morning, Anne. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Thanks for meeting with me this morning. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So we talked a little bit before this call, so I want to take this opportunity to have you talk to me a little bit more in detail about what you have done in your previous work history. So
Okay.
can we start when you were a special projects controller and regional controller? I guess that was with Sunterra Resorts.
Correct. Sunterra Resorts was timeshare development and HOA management. I was hired as the regional controller. I was responsible for several properties, just making sure that their financials, they had accounting people at each location, or maybe one person would do two properties, and I would just make sure that their financials were getting done properly and timely, and then facilitate and help them get through their audits. While I was doing that, they realized that when my properties were all done, they would send me to properties that were under a different regional person, and I was helping clean up the financial statements for the newly acquired properties, which is when they shifted me over to special projects, and that was my focus for a while.
Okay. And then from that, you were with Interlaken Country Club for many, many years.
18 years.
Yes, long time. That's awesome. So you were a controller there. So talk to me a little bit about what your focus was while you were employed with them.
What I did with them, I was the property controller, the club controller. I had an accounts receivable and accounts payable person that reported to me. Payroll also reported to me, but they also had another function. They did HR. I kind of facilitated that, but I didn't oversee it. They reported directly to our general manager. But we did all the billing. We made sure all the invoices were coded correctly, approved, entered, paid. We did the journal. I did the journal entries for payroll, and the other two were automatic through the system. We produced the financial statements every month for the finance committee and the board, facilitated the annual audits, did any forecasting, the budgeting, pretty much everything except the preparation of the income tax returns. We had an outside CPA firm that did an audit in preparation for those.
Okay. And then, more so recently, you've been doing a couple of different short-term assignments.
Mm-hmm.
So the one that you were most recently in has, come to an end. So, to wrap it up, I just kind of want to hear about what you did there as an accounting manager.
With Vacatia, I planned on retiring with them. However, they're a fairly new company, and they were dealing with rentals. They decided to get into the HOA management, started acquiring the management agreements for certain properties, and they hired me to do the accounting for those standalone properties. But they were also purchasing management companies that came with several properties. And I guess, late last year, they realized they could take my 5 and just kind of roll them up into what they had acquired, unfortunately. So my position was eliminated. I did help them get through transitioning to the new staff that would be taking over, as well as setting them up to be transferred into Sage.
Okay.
But for them, I just, they had an accounts payable person that did the payables for 2 of the properties. We used Bill.com. I did 3 of the properties. One of them really didn't have a lot of AP. The other 2 were located together and did journal entries for allocations, did the journal entries for the accruals, prepared the financial statements, basically.
Okay.
And it was a remote position, so we had a lot of Zoom meetings for the board of directors for each of those properties.
Okay, perfect.